Welcome everyone to Creating Grin, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons real play podcast where we play a campaign set in the fantasy world of Solaris as we follow the chronicles of 3 adventurers as they explore the continent of Alteratus. It is my pleasure to present to you the players that will bring to life our 3 adventurers that we will be following. To my right we have...
I'm Jason. I'm playing Gorath Thunderfist, a Gorath fighter originating from the Demon Spine Mountains. Just a bit of a loner. Want to head back into town and get some easy coin.
And I'm Brian. I'm playing Kelbrix Goldfound, a human cleric from Southfair who is kind of a bumbling idiot.
I'm Katie. I'm playing Aria Collis. She's a cautious and stealthy tiefling rogue from Landgate.
And my name is Eric, and I will be your dungeon master in this chapter of our tale. As we begin our story, we start in a tavern called the Sailor's Delight, which resides in a coastal port town called Green Coast Landing. The Sailor's Delight Tavern is a well-known landmark establishment in Green Coast Landing. It is a 2-story rectangular stone and wood building which houses a large sunken floor that serves as the tavern's main drinking area. A barrel-top tables and chairs fill this main drinking area and are always filled with thirsty patrons. A stone set of steps can be seen running along the northern wall of the Sailor's Delight. These steps allow access to the second floor drinking area, which is a quieter, more intimate space for those who wish to drink alone or conduct shady business deals. The smaller barrel-top tables on this floor are set for 2. They all overlook a railing onto the main drinking area. On the right side of the building, on the main drinking floor, or the eastern side, is a hand-carved driftwood bar, which has been soaked in spirits and memories of young and old, past and present. Stools are packed around the bar, as there is rarely an open seat to be had. Attending this evening is the Delight's very own Farley Axebelly, a middle-aged, 6-foot-tall, scruffy-bearded, shaggy, blonde-haired human male. His deep voice and bushy, expressive eyebrows entertain those at the bar, as he recants all of his adventures from his youth, and how he did so with his trusty battle axe as he points across the room. On the left side of the building, on the main floor, on the western side, is a large stone fireplace housing a roaring fire which provides not only heat, but light for the tavern. Mounted above the large wooden mantle of the fireplace is a battle axe with a placard just below it, which reads, "The Judge." This is the weapon of Farley Axebelly, which he constantly points to from behind his bar. Hanging oil lanterns as well as candles aid in lighting the Sailor's Delight as the 3 of you sit at a barrel-top table set for 4 in the far left northern corner of the main drinking floor. Drunken songs and shanties mixed with laughter and conversations set the ambience. As you each drink from a wooden cup of ale, Ari sits counting out the second half of your pay, dividing it evenly by 3 from your previous job. What would you guys like to do?
So, Ari, 15 gold?
15 per.
I thought we were supposed to get 50 total per.
We got 40 per, 25 up front when we took the job, and the other 15 when we delivered here from Farley.
Ah, that's right. Gotcha. Well, I thought you were trying to scrape by a little extra coin.
Do you want to count it?
Nah. Gorath, I'm guessing you're wanting to get some ale, some sleep, and then maybe some extra work?
I say some ale, sleep, and then some good red meats. But this is a sea town. Do you even have red meat here?
I'm sure they do. Let's find out.
Approaching your table is the young, fiery, red-haired, green-eyed, spirited barmaid Grace, who has been serving you since your arrival. I saw you waving me over. Is there something I can do for you?
Yeah, I'll take an ale, and, Gorath?
Take an ale and Nice piece of red meat.
Unfortunately, we sold our last piece of red meat to that person over there. Is there anything else I can get for you, my friend?
What else do you have?
Lots of seafood. Shrimp is our specialty.
Oh, give me the biggest platter you have.
I will do that.
I'll just take an ale.
1 ale for you. Alright. As Grace moves away, Kelbrix, your attention is drawn to the front door of the Sailor's Delight as you spot a human male staggering in. Grace moves up to him to welcome him, as she instead lets out a shrill scream. The tavern grows silent as everyone's attention is drawn to the scream from Grace at the front door. The man clutches his blood-soaked clothing and armor. His skin color grows pale. His eyes begin to lose their light. And with a heavy thud, he collapses to his knees, falls face first into the tavern floor. The crowd panics as some begin to surround him. What would you guys like to do?
You want to do something about that, Kelbrix?
Alright. I'll go take a look, see what I can find out. I'm gonna get up, move over to this guy, and see what I can find out. And check to see if he's already dead.
So you begin to push your way through the crowd. As you arrive, you can see he's not moving, lying face down on the floor as blood pools beneath him.
Alright, I'm gonna look at everyone surrounding him. I'm gonna be, alright. Everybody, back up. Let me take a look at him.
The crowd will begin to back up, giving you some space.
Alright, and I'll go ahead and cast Eyes of the Grave to see if I notice a death mark on him. As at the same time, I want to do a medicine check to see if he's already actually expired.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and give a brief description of what Eyes of the Grave statistically does for all the listeners out there, and then I'll fill in the other details.
Alright, so Eyes of the Grave will normally allow me to know the location of any undead that's within 60 feet, and that isn't behind total cover. This isn't, or at least for individuals that aren't protected from divination magic, and it lasts for just a round.
Okay, so my unique twist on Eyes of the Grave in my campaign setting is specifically with the Grave Domain subclass. Players or NPCs of that subclass are referred to as Soul Shepherds. Soul Shepherds typically serve as servants or reapers of the goddess of death, Morgana, making sure the individuals do not cheat death in any way when their time has come to join their position wherever it may be in the afterlife. When a cleric of the Grave Domain or Soul Shepherd uses their Eyes of the Grave, they will be able to see if Morgana has marked the individual, declaring them to have their time be up, thus allowing the Soul Shepherd the right to heal or aid the individual. This puts a sometimes difficult decision on the Soul Shepherd, however, in what they actually decide to do. So Kelbrix, as you activate your Eyes of the Grave, your eyes transition to a solid white state. Your vision is now this smoky gray, ethereal view that you have become accustomed to. Looking upon the man lying before you, you do not see the purple aura marking of Morgana that would indicate that his time is up.
Okay, that's good. Then I'll go ahead and do the medicine check, see if he's alive and breathing.
Excellent. You can definitely do that.
Alright, that's a 12. 7 plus 5.
Excellent. 12 will be the exact number that you needed. So your eyes will return to their normal state as you begin to examine the man lying on the floor. You notice he is breathing. The breaths are slow and very shallow and getting worse by the second. You also discover the source for the pools of blood are from multiple stab wounds in his chest. The markings and tearings of the wounds resemble some type of dagger would have left it.
Okay, I'll go ahead. I'll use a first level Cure Wounds. So I'm going to go ahead and reach for my holy symbol that's around my neck. I will lay my hand on it and on his head and say, It's not your time yet. And casting Cure Wounds, you will get back 7 points of healing.
Awesome. So as you place the holy symbol on his head, there is this grayish, smoky energy that surrounds it. As wisps of this grayish, smoky energy absorb into his forehead, Kelbrix, you notice the stab wounds beginning to slowly close. The man becomes conscious, and his breathing stabilizes. He blinks his eyes to gain focus as he looks around confused as to what happened. As his vision locks onto you, there is a bit of a relieved smile until he notices you tucking away your holy symbol. Panic now fills his face as he now seems afraid of you.
It's okay, my friend. It's not your time.
Thank the gods. Sorry, I'm a bit confused. My name is Cole Harvest Oath, and I was coming in here for help. Might you be able to help me?
Potentially, yes. What is it that you're needing help with?
As Grace the barmaid says, "Alright, everybody return to your seat. The show is over, no more to see here. Back to your tables, mind your business." The crowd begins to move back to what it was doing before Cole's entry, as the ambience once again slowly fills the Sailor's Delight. Cole extends his hand for help off the floor.
Yeah, I'll grab him, pull him up.
As you do so, Cole stands there for a few moments as he collects himself. He looks to you, Kelbrix, as he begins to share his story. "I'm a caravan guard for the Wandering Wagon Coster, located here in Green Coast Landing. The caravan was a small, only 3-wagon caravan. Can we actually go somewhere and sit?"
Yes. Yeah, follow me. I'll take you over to some of my friends over at that table, and I'll lead them over to the table where Ari and Gorath are currently sitting.
Ari, Gorath, as you both sit there, taking all this in, you see Kelbrix with a human male that collapsed upon entering the Sailor's Delight approaching the table.
Friends, this is Cole. He wanted to see if we might be able to help.
Well, good to see he's not dead.
Yeah.
As you, or as your friends say, as your friend said, "I'm Cole," as he extends his hand to you, Ari.
I'll reach my hand out. Ari.
As he then extends his hand to you, Gorath.
Oh, looks like you just lost a fight.
Yes, sadly, as well as some friends. Anyway, as I was telling your friend Kelbrix here, you did say your name was Kelbrix, correct?
Yes, that's right.
I'm a caravan guard that was assigned to a small caravan of 3 wagons. The caravan left Green Coast Landing and was supposed to travel to the capital of Landgate. We were several hours from here when the caravan was ambushed. Myself and the other guards all drew weapons and shields to protect the wagon's cargo and the drivers. The ambushers were not like anything I had ever seen before. They each wore hooded cloaks, covered in black feathers. The faces, or what could be seen of them, were bird-like, resembling a raven. Cries of death rang out as my friends began to fall from their attacks of these strange bird-like assailants. Frozen in fear, I could only watch as they flocked to the center wagon with purpose. That is when a single sellsword, who was added to the guard just before it left, began defending the center wagon with more skill than just your average caravan guard. That is when one of these bird-like assailants came up from behind me and plunged its dagger into my chest repeatedly. I was able to fight it off as it joined its flock at the center of the wagon. That is when I collapsed. Getting myself back up, I was able to escape, hoping to be able to make it back here, so I could inform the coster as to what happened. Oh, I really need to report this to the coster. Would you all be able to help me there?
Yeah. Well, Gorath, sorry. Looks like you're not getting your platter.
Well, Hole, looks like it's your lucky day.
Blessed be the gods. Thank you. I can take you to the Coster's office. It is located on the Emerald Wharf in the center of the Emerald Harbor. If you would follow me. And with that, Cole exits the Sailor's Delight. Do you guys wish to follow?
Yeah, I'll follow. I'll toss a couple coins on the table for what we had ordered.
Yeah. I'll follow.
We didn't even get anything. Follow.
As you all make your way out of the tavern following Cole, he looks and says, "Hopefully Vistra is still there."
Who's Vistra?
Vistra Two-Run is the Wandering Wagon Coster's Green Coast branch administrator. As you guys get out into the air of the port town of the Green Coast Landing, there's a salty, cool night breeze that brushes over your exposed skin. There's gentle waves lapping against nearby boats. Nocturnal creatures and night travelers set the port's ambience. As you follow Cole, he points out to the center of the Emerald Harbor, where you see what appears to be a small island crowded with buildings of various shapes and sizes and appearances. That is our destination. That is the Emerald Wharf. Now, there are two ways to get there. We can take a boat, or we can take the public transportation transit, which is where I'm taking us now. Shortly after mentioning that, you find yourselves in front of a large 25-foot by 25-foot square pergola with a slate roof and stone half wall on 3 of the 4 sides of this pergola. In the center of the pergola's stone floor are intricately designed glowing arcane circle that can be seen with a radius of 15 feet. A human male sits near the entrance on a wooden chair. He looks half awake until he notices you all approaching. "Oh, hello. Where are you fine folks traveling this evening?" As Cole says, "We need to get to the Emerald Wharf." "Oh, that's not a problem. The Emerald Wharf is 1 silver per." As Cole reaches into his pocket, retrieving a gold piece, handing it over to the teleportation director. "Here, this should cover it. Don't worry about the change. You keep it." "Well, thank you, kind sir. Everyone, please step onto the teleportation circle." Cole steps in.
I'll follow.
I'll follow too.
I'll follow.
As everyone steps onto the teleportation circle, there is a bit of a tingling sensation that is felt, like the feeling of getting goosebumps, if you will. As the arcane design begins to pulse with energy, the teleportation director finishes moving his hands as he says to you all, "Goodbye now." With a bright flash, followed by a sudden popping sound, you find yourself in a similar setup, except for the shape of the building, as it is circular instead of square. You all quickly notice a similar looking human man standing there to greet you. "Welcome to the Emerald Wharf. I hope your trip was satisfactory." Without hesitation, Cole exits the teleportation transit and begins moving down one of the planked walkways, heading towards the Wandering Wagon Coster's office, as you all follow. After 10 minutes, you find yourself looking at an oval 2-story building. Aged, moss-covered, gray slate tiles rest on the roof of this building, as the main structure of this building is made from weathered, moss-covered wood siding. Directly above the front door of this building hangs an old weathered wagon wheel with a wooden sign affixed to the wheel's center that reads, "Wandering Wagon Coster." Windows are dark, as the hour is late, with one exception. A second-floor window in the rear, right side of this building, is alight with what looks to be the glow from a lantern. A wooden set of steps leads up to a door next to that lit window. The sound of horses nickering can be heard on the left side of the building, as you look and see 3 horses tied off to a hitching post near the center of the building. One of the larger horses looks at you for a moment before turning away. Cole moves from window to window on the ground floor, peeking in, muttering under his breath, "This is not good. She must have left. What do I do?" As Cole locates the wooden stairs on the side of the building, He begins moving up. What would you guys like to do?
I'll follow behind Cole as I turn and look at everyone and say, alright, come on, hurry up. Let's go, time's of the essence.
I'll go ahead and follow Kelbrix up the stairs.
I'll come up. I'll take up the caboose.
As everyone follows up the wooden steps, you all notice the groaning and the creaking of the wood as Gorath begins to climb them. Looking back at him, he looks to you all.
Isn't it odd they have horses on an island?
Yeah, it is. Kind of very.
Can horses go through the teleportation circle?
Just large enough, I believe. Still odd, though.
Odd how?
As Cole reaches the top of the steps, he knocks on the door, followed by a moment of silence. That is when you all hear the faint sound of footsteps approaching from the other side of the door, followed by an older dwarven female voice who says, "Hold on, Green. I'm a-comin'. As you hear a series of locks being disengaged, the door's knob begins to turn as the door creaks open slowly. Peeking out from behind the door, you see an older dwarven female with disheveled brown and silver hair. She squints at each of you before reaching into a pocket of her robe, pulling out a pair of round wire frame glasses, putting them on. She then opens the door fully as she reaches off to the right, bringing forth an old oil lantern from the sill of the window by the door. "What can I do for ye at this late hour?" "It's me, Vistra, Cole Harvestoth. I need to inform you on the caravan. May we come inside and discuss this further?" "Cole? Well, alright. Come on in. Just over there to your left is the sitting room. Make yourselves comfortable."
Alright, I'll head in, take a seat.
I'm gonna go in too, but I'll stay in next to the door.
Gorath, as you walk by, Vistra says, "Oh my, you're a big fella, aren't you?"
I'm gonna move my coin pouch into my hand. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on my shoulder out of the reach of the little dwarf.
Vistra will close the door as you, Gorath, finish entering in. As she places the lantern back in the windowsill, she will make her way into the sitting room with the rest of you. She takes an open seat. "My apologies for the late night interruption, Vistra, but the caravan was ambushed. The ambushers were not your typical bandits or thugs, no. These attackers were not like anything I had ever encountered before. They wore hooded cloaks covered in black feathers. Their faces, or what could be seen of them, were bird-like, resembling a raven almost. The creatures tore through our guards and ravaged the drivers, focusing on the center wagon for some reason. After suffering multiple stab wounds, I was able to escape, thinking it to be better to return here to inform you as to what took place, possibly gathering more guards to help any survivors." "Oh dear. Unfortunately, there are no available guards here currently. There will not be any arriving until early tomorrow morning. The caravan is a high-valued caravan. Losing those supplies are going to deal a significant blow to the wandering wagon."
Well, if you're willing to pay, I think we might be interested in aiding.
I think we can come to an arrangement. Let's see, how does 5 platinum per each of you sound?
I'd say that sounds reasonable.
Well, that definitely sounds like the type of currency a dwarf would have.
Vistra looks at you, Gorath, with half a smile and a raised eyebrow. "As part of the payment for the investigation of the caravan, would you also be willing to gather and protect any of the supplies worth salvaging? At least until I can send reinforcements to collect any of the salvage supplies you may find."
Yeah.
Sounds fair enough.
Yeah, we can do that.
"Well, alright then. It seems that we've drawn an accord. Excuse me for a moment." Vistra will stand and slowly begin making her way into another room, where she stays there for several moments. While she is gone, is there anything you guys would like to do?
This sounds like the bandits we met on the road before.
Yeah, it does sound like the same individuals. Cole, you said that there were 3 wagons, correct?
Yes, that is correct. 3 wagons.
And do you know what was in any of them?
No, I only know that there were supplies, according to Vistra, and that they were shipping to Landgate. Crates did not look any different than I have guarded in the past. Typically, supplies leaving Green Coast Landing are things like fruits, spices, as well as trinkets and baubles imported from continents such as Stygian. As Cole finishes answering your question, Kelbrix, Vistra makes her way back into the sitting room where everyone is gathered. Vistra hands over a handcrafted leather map case to Kelbrix. She then moves to Ari and hands over a sending stone. So, if you're going to do this, you're gonna need a few things. In the map case there is a finely cartographed map of Alteratus. The stone that you hold in your hand there, dear, that is a sending stone. If you or I need to communicate anything to each other, just speak into the stone. The message will transmit directly to the other connected stone. One thing I can tell you is that caravan was heading to the capital of Landgate via the Green Coastway Road.
Okay.
And Cole chimes in quickly. I can tell you this as well. We were only several hours outside of Green Coast Landing. Thank you, Cole. Upon completion of your investigation and salvage, hopefully, I will be sure to send your payment with either reinforcements, if needed, or a simple message, or messenger on horseback.
Cole, are you going with us?
Make an insight check, Ari.
3 and 2 is 5.
You really don't think that he'll be tagging along for this one.
Could have let us.
Oh, one more thing. I have 3 horses outside, if you need them. I'm not sure if you already have mounts or not.
Horses would be useful. We came here helping and aiding another caravan.
Well then, they're yours. Consider them part of the payment, or extra incentive, if you will.
Can the horses go through the teleportation portal?
Absolutely, dear. How do you think I get my caravan wagons off this wharf?
Well, I just wanted to check.
One question. What do you know of any of the goods that were in the caravan, or individuals that were part of the caravan other than Cole?
I can tell you this. Most of the goods in the shipment were spices, oils, and silks imported from Stygian that were heading to various merchants in Landgate. This is typical for the coster here. As for the drivers and guards, most of them are standard wandering wagon employees.
Noticed you said most on both occasions.
Well, there were a few individuals looking for work that I hired because I needed the guards. There was a human female that I did not really catch her name, as she was a late addition, replacing one of several guards that came down with an illness. A half-elf male and a human male were also late additions.
Well, we have had a run-in with these bird-like creatures, as Cole described. They're not ones to be...
The bird-like creatures?
Yes, they wore raven's feathers on the cloak, as well as ceramic masks fashioned like a raven's face. We ran into them when we were escorting a caravan from Burn Barrel down to here.
Interesting. Perhaps this is the fate of the gods sending you my way.
Alright, well, if everyone's ready.
Yeah, we're ready. We're gonna go finish Hole's job for him.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Well, we'll let you know as soon as we find out anything.
Excellent.
And, Cole, if you wouldn't mind stepping out here with me real quick.
Okay. As he slowly stands making his way over to you, Kelbrix.
Alright, I'm gonna pull out the map and unfurl it, setting it down on a nearby table. and ask him to point out kind of where the caravan was when it was ambushed.
Cole studies the map as he looks to you and says, I think it was somewhere around here, as he points to a spot on the map roughly 12 to 14 miles out of the Green Coast Landing near Trappers Trek Road.
Well, that's helpful. I have a feeling we're gonna have to go into the Bloodhawk Woods. That is Trapper's Trek, where we encountered these bird-like folks on the way down here. Cole, I appreciate it.
Good luck.
And to you.
As everyone gathers and takes their leave, you head down the wooden steps directly over to the other side of the Wandering Wagon coaster, where the 3 horses that you noticed earlier are hitched. Getting a closer look at these 3 horses, you notice that they are older, but still serviceable. Each one of them seem to have a bit of personality. As you all notice, one of the horses is large enough and suitable to hold the frame of your large Goliath friend.
Well, that's
Gorath.
good.
It's good to know.
Alright, I'll start unhooking the horses and getting it ready.
Dwarves are always causing trouble. On the way here, now on the way out. Sure, these horses are going to be trouble too. These dwarven horses are going to be just trouble.
As soon as Gorath finishes his ramblings, all 3 of these horses slowly turn and look at him specifically, as if they understood everything he just said.
I think the horses are gonna be fine.
Yeah, and Gorath, if you recall, it wasn't the dwarf that caused the issue on the way down. It was the individuals wearing the raven's feathers and the porcelain raven masks.
No. We had a dwarf with us. It was bad luck.
Well, there's not gonna be a dwarf with us now.
Alright, we'll need to unpack this later. But now we gotta get going.
You just brought the whole suitcase.
Each one of you select your horse as you unhitch them from the post of the Wandering Wagon coaster. As you begin leading the horses to the teleportation transit building, which you arrived at on the Emerald Wharf. As you all arrive at the rounded pergola, with the horses, the teleportation circle. You see the human male as you enter in, leading the horse. Oh, welcome back! That was quick. You picked up some horses. That's gonna be a gold piece per.
It's only a silver to get over here.
Yeah, it was only a silver to get over here.
Well, yeah, but animals are a little bit trickier with these teleportation circles.
Mm-hmm.
That sure makes me feel confident.
Just another dwarven scam to get more gold before we get off this island.
He's clearly human.
That works for the dwarf.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna just reach into my pouch, I'll pull out the 3 gold and hand it over. There you go.
It's really sad. We go to the island and the dwarf charges to leave.
As you begin taking up your positions on the teleportation circle, I'm gonna have each of you make an animal handling check to coax your horse on the circle, as they are all a little bit hesitant.
I got 12, 10, and 2.
22 for me, 19 plus 3.
12 plus 3 for 15.
Okay. So what I would like for you guys to do is describe how you lead your horses onto the teleportation circle.
Alright, personally, I just kind of look over my shoulder and just pull on the reins and clicking and say, "Come on, Buttercup."
Buttercup will follow you right on the circle.
Buttercup? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna grab mine by the reins and start walking and say, "Let's go, come on."
I'm also just going to grab mine by the reins and begin to walk.
Once everyone is on the circle and situated, the teleportation director finishes waving his hands. As you all once again feel that tingling sensation, the director looks at all of you and says, "Good luck to you. Bye-bye now." With a bright flash, followed by a sudden popping sound, you find yourselves back in the square pergola, back on the mainland. Oh, hello, and welcome back. You have horses.
Why is everyone stating the obvious today?
The previous animal handling checks that you guys made will all be good enough as you each lead your horses out of the teleportation transit building to the street. Each one of you mounts your horses. You each kick the sides of your horses, sending them into a gallop out of the Green Coast Landing onto the Green Coast Way Road in an attempt to find the location of the caravan that was ambushed and investigate what happened. I'd like for each of you to give me a marching order or a riding order. Green Coast Way Road is wide enough if you wanted to ride 3 wide. You can ride single file, side by side, with one another in the front, one in the back, however you guys wish to do it.
Well, you saw the map, Kelbrix. You want to go in front?
Yeah, I'll take point.
I'll be just slightly off to his right and behind a few feet.
I'm going to bring up the tail.
I want all of you guys to go ahead and give me a survival check, but the difficulty will be reduced this time since you guys did get help from Cole and you have looked at the map.
18 and 4 for a total of 22.
That's 16 plus 3 for 19.
Nice.
8 plus 3, that's 11.
All right. Okay, Gorath, with an 11, you are following along and doing what you can. Given that it is night, you don't have dark vision, you're keeping up with your friends as they ride. As for Kelbrix and Ari, with your 19 and your 22, you both work together using signs, landmarks, and other natural indicators to lead the party in the right direction over the next several hours, avoiding any encounters or misleadings that would hinder, slow you down, or even get the party lost. At the end of those several hours, Ari and Kelbrix, you both notice wagon ruts, deep hoof and boot impressions that are fresh. These markings are very good indicators of the guarded caravan passing this way.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and bring Buttercup down to a slow trot as I keep my eyes out following these markings on the road.
You all follow this trail for about a quarter mile or so further down the road when you all begin to notice the wagon ruts become a bit more erratic. The hoof and boot impressions have not only gotten deeper, but have quickly multiplied and seem to be centered in a 40-foot radius before they just seem to vanish. Ari, you ride ahead past the 40-foot radius area you all have noticed, and you only see standard traffic markings in the road. So you turn your horse around, you ride back to rejoin the others.
Find anything?
No, I'm just gonna shake my head.
Can I do a investigation or perception check to kind of look around, see if I find any wagons or blood or anything like that?
Sure. Why don't you definitely make it a perception check? It will be a disadvantage due to the fact that you do not have dark vision or a light source currently.
Okay. Let's see. 4 plus 5, 9.
Alright, as you look around, you do not notice any more details than you've already noticed at this point.
Okay.
You see anything?
No, the trail just ends. No wagons.
I'm also gonna look around.
That's kind of weird.
Sure, go ahead and give me a perception check, Ari.
I don't think I did any better, because I rolled a 1 for a total of 5. 1 and 4.
Just a reminder for you listeners out there. 1 on skill checks is not a critical failure, and 20s are not auto successes. Those are for combat checks. And you can always check your player's handbook. Alright, you take a look around as you do notice really not much more than you did before. No new details are showing themselves to you, other than what was already kind of seen or pointed out.
So it's just like the wagons just disappeared here.
From what you can tell, it seems that way, yes.
All right. I'm gonna hop off of Buttercup and go ahead and pull out my mace and cast light on the end of it.
Okay.
Giving that way I can have some light and give some others hopefully a better look.
I'll take a look as well. So investigation.
It's actually perception.
Ah. 1 and 1. That's a 2.
Excellent. All right. So Gorath, as you take a look
great.
around, the only thing you see is the silhouetted figure of what you presume to be Kelbrix hop off his horse. You see him kind of reach to his side, pulling out something. Suddenly, a bright flash, followed by a steady source of light, radiates from the tip of his mace, illuminating the area for like 20-30 feet or something like that.
Yeah, it's 20-foot bright light and another 20 feet of dim light, so 40 overall.
Excellent. So now the appearance of the area has changed drastically with the added light. The light reveals clear markings and signs of an ambush. Ari, with the light, you now notice off to the side of your horse crossbow bolts that have been trampled into the ground. Kelbrix, as you step forward to get a better look, your foot sinks a bit as you stepped in loose dirt or possibly mud.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and look down, see what I stepped in.
As you do, you can see it definitely looks like mud.
Alright, I'll kneel down, get a close look.
As you kneel down and you actually take your fingers kind of sampling the mud, as you bring it to your nose, the mud smells of copper coin, and it's pretty fresh.
Yeah, we got some blood here. Let's see if I can find the trail of the blood. Does it look like it's going in any particular direction?
That's a good question. No need to roll anything now that you have an idea of what it is you're looking for and you now have a light source. You actually look around and see multiple patches of mud that are fresh. Some are larger, some are smaller. Why don't you go ahead and throw me an investigation check now? And as he's doing this, what is everybody else doing?
I want to look around and see if there are any more like bolts on the ground, or if any of the supplies might have fallen off the wagons. If anything's broken.
Okay, go ahead and give me an investigation check for that, Ari. Gorath?
I'm gonna keep an eye on the trail, as well as any tree lines around. I don't trust these bird people.
Okay. Go ahead and give me... You know what? Hold that thought for a second, Gorath. Kelbrix, go ahead and give me the result of your investigation.
12. 12 plus 0.
0, right? Kelbrix, as you are looking around, more of these blood-soaked puddles begin popping up as you also begin noticing the crossbow bolts that Ari spotted. Ari, what was your result of your investigation?
I'm rolling great. 5, 2, and 3.
All right. So with a 5, you don't notice anything new, other than Kelbrix picking up on the crossbow bolts that you have already discovered. Gorath, as you continue to watch the path and the tree lines, you notice your friends studying the ground. Seeing nothing of interest there, you go back to watching the trail and the tree lines when you spot something. On the northern side of the road, not far from where you actually stand, you see trampled down grass, broken over brush, as well as some broken over bushes leading over the roadside. This created path seems to be wide enough for a wagon to traverse down, possibly. As both you, Ari, and Kelbrix look over without much of a result. Kelbrix, you notice Gorath entranced by the side of the road.
Gorath, you find something over there?
I'm gonna slowly motion Ari and Kelbrix to come over. Come over here.
Alright, I'll head over, taking my mace with the light.
As you walk over, your mace sheds light on what it is that Gorath was studying so intently. Ari, what do you do?
I'll follow behind Kelbrix.
As you all gather together, each of you can now see the created wide path that leads off the roadside. It continues from the roadside down a 30-degree sloped hill from as far as your light can reveal. Presumably at the bottom of the hill, you all notice the silhouette of something large, 3 large objects, but your light source beaming from the mace is not bright enough for you to make out anything else.
Okay. Is there one of the crossbow bolts or anything close by, or something similar in size on the ground?
So you quickly look around and you will actually see plenty of loose sediment on the roadside.
Okay. I'll grab a pebble, casting light on it, and toss it down to the caravans or whatever.
As you clutch the pebble in your hand and whisper a prayer, the light leaves your mace and transfers to the pebble, igniting it in light. Would you go ahead and give me an athletics check for the throw, please?
That's an 8. 6 plus 2.
Well, actually an 8 is good enough. As you kind of sidearm the pebble down the hillside towards the large objects. The pebble goes somewhere around 15 to 20 feet before it actually lands, revealing 3 wrecked wagons.
Okay. I'm going to cast light back on my mace. I think we need to head down.
Should we let our friend know?
Well, let's see if there's anything in the wagons first.
What is your guys' marching order down the wagons?
Kelbrix, you have the light.
Tie the horses off so we don't have any night thieves steal them while we're down there.
Probably a good point. Are there any little trees or anything nearby?
Yeah. Looking around, you see an old tree stump jutting several feet up from the ground.
Okay. I'll tie off Buttercup and the other horses. And then, I can lead since I have the light. Gorath, you want to come next to me?
Yeah, I'll move up next to Kelbrix on his right side.
I'll be behind him.
How far behind them are you?
Like 10 feet.
Okay. Typical rogue speed. As you all get into your positions and begin moving down the hillside, you follow a path presumably made by these wagons for 50 to 60 feet. As you all reach the bottom, you are all able to confirm that these are the 3 wagons that you've been sent to look for. Symbols of the Wandering Wagon Coster, which is a black wagon wheel with 2 squiggly lines underneath the wheel, can be seen on the various crates that are scattered about the area, as well as the wagons themselves. The smell of death fills everyone's senses as you all look around at the scene. There are numerous guards and drivers' corpses that rest in the backs of these wagons. Some of the corpses lie haphazardly on the ground, more than likely tossed from the wagons back on the rough ride down the hill.
Okay. I'll keep moving towards the center of the area so I can get a better look.
I'm going to follow as well, stay on his right.
Alright, moving to the center of the area, you begin to now see crossbow bolts sticking in the wagon sides, blood dripping from the driver's seats of the wagons. One thing that stands out to you, Kelbrix, is there is a large number of supplies still here, almost as if they were not the reason for the ambush.
Hey, Ari, if you want to let our friend know now, there is still quite a bit of supplies left here, but no survivors.
Before I do that, I want to see what the races are among the dead.
Okay, sure. As you begin walking around looking at the various corpses in the back of the wagons as well as on the ground, you see that they are all human up to this point. As you move to investigate the last wagon, you hear a faint crunching from beneath your boot as you plant your step. The sound strongly resembles that of stepping on dried leaves in the fall. Looking down at your boot, you notice something peeking out from it.
I'm gonna bend down, pick it up, see what it is.
You bend down, picking it up, revealing an old, worn, folded piece of parchment. The parchment is folded in quarters. As you slowly begin unfolding it, you notice something written in strange runes on the one side. Stains from water or sweat, dirt and blood are all over this parchment as well. Turning the parchment over, you see more of these strange runes, along with a faded imagery that would resemble a map of sorts. The strange runes seem to be some type of indicators on this map. Names, locations, maybe even coordinates. Kelbrix, Gorath, you both notice Ari stop in her tracks as she slowly bends down, picking up something. And then, when she stands back up, she begins unfolding what then now or resembles a piece of paper or parchment as she studies it for a moment.
What do you have there?
I think it's a map of some sort.
Alright, I'll go over and take a look as well.
Do you recognize the area at all?
No, can't say that I do.
Gorath, go ahead and give me a perception check as you begin to walk over there.
14, 13 plus 1.
That's exactly what you needed, right on the money. That is when, as you're walking over there, you notice something lying by the front wagon wheel of the wagon that both Kelbrix and Ari are next to. It looks like a raven's feather.
I'm going to bend down and pick it up, and mutter to myself. Apparently they didn't get the message.
He will raise and show the feather to each of you.
Apparently not.
Or they did, and this is their retaliation. You did leave one of their heads on a pike.
True.
I shouldn't have messed with children. They did say there were spices here. I wonder if they have any food.
Would you like to begin searching the wagon that you are currently next to?
Let's check this wagon out next to.
Alright, go ahead and give me an investigation check then, Gorath.
19 plus 0.
A few of the crates have been damaged a bit, allowing you to see what the contents are. You notice several of the crates contain imported silks, while the largest of all the crates contains seafood, as you notice shrimp spilling out of the side of the crate. The seafood smells fresh, as you notice on the side where the shrimp is spilling out from, a unique looking sigil that has been damaged. Why don't you go ahead and give me an Arcana check, Gorath?
Hey, 15. 15 plus nothing in Arcana.
Alright. Gorath, being the mountain dweller that you are, you have seen this type of magic sigil before. As you've encountered wielders of cold and ice magic, you strongly believe this sigil was imbued with some type of cold magic used to keep the seafood preserved until the sigil was broken.
You too. It's a gift. There are crates of unspoiled seafood here.
As you look back to the crate of seafood, you notice a broken open chest, possibly containing something of great value or importance.
I'll reach in and grab some shrimp. I'm going to start pulling off the tails and start eating the shrimp as I reach in grabbing this other chest.
As you pull out the broken wooden chest while chewing on your shrimp, you see that it was a well-designed chest. It's around 2 feet in length and about 18 inches in width, and somewhere around 10 to 12 inches deep. The inside of this chest is lined in this bluish-green crushed velvet lining that is now slightly shredded and torn away from the chest, indicating that whatever was in the chest was ripped out or torn out of it in a hurry.
Alright, I'm going to take the remains of the chest and show it to Ari and Kelbrix. While in the process, grabbing some more shrimp from the wagon.
Alright, so Ari, Kelbrix, Gorath shows the two of you this wooden chest that he has discovered as he finishes pulling the tails off from some shrimp and shoving them in his mouth, chomping away.
I'm pretty sure that's the goods we were supposed to protect.
It's going to go bad. We might as well enjoy it now. The seal's been broken.
Well done.
So, Eric, the map, is it in a language that I recognize? Dwarvish, Common, Elvish?
None of you will know this language.
I'm going to slurp on some of the shrimp. What map are we talking about?
This map. And I'll hand it over to Gorath so he can take a look.
Alright, let's take a look at this.
Alright, don't get shrimp juice on the map.
Alright, I'm going to assume that while Gorath and Kelbrix are focused on the map, you're going to finish investigating the last wagon.
Yeah.
As you get near the last wagon, you will once again hear a crunching sound. This time, it is not like the crunching of leaves, but like broken glass or porcelain. As you look down, you see the remains of a once finely crafted porcelain raven mask beneath your boot.
Oh, it's finally crafted until I stepped on it. Are there any markings on the mask?
No, there are no markings on the mask.
Did we check to see if all these people were dead?
That's a great question. Everyone that you've encountered so far has been lifeless.
I'm gonna check and see what kind of supplies are in the back of this last wagon.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
19, 17, and 3.
Alright. The crates in the back of this wagon are sealed tight, but your curiosity is getting the best of you as you pull out one of your trusty daggers and slide it in between the crate and its lid as you begin to pry up just a bit to get a peek. This crate contains imported spices. As you move to the next, prying its lid up a bit, discovering it has imported oils and perfumes. There are several barrels as well, which you determine have ale or spirits in them. Satisfied with your investigation, you'll walk back over to Gorath and Kelbrix, sheathing your dagger.
Did we find anything else you want to tell Vistra about besides the wagons?
Who here has the highest passive perception?
Mine's an 11.
Mine's 14.
And I got a 15.
Alright, Kelbrix, you hear what sounds like a weak cough followed by labored breathing in the distant brush or trees.
Okay, I'll take off doing a wide lap around the perimeter, trying to locate the source of the labored breathing.
Give me a perception check to see if you can hone in on those sounds.
That's 10 total, 5 plus 5.
Alright. You begin rushing to the north for about 30 feet from the wagon site, but you don't see or hear anything. Closing your eyes, you focus on the sound as again you hear the labored breathing. This time it sounds weaker or shallower. Go ahead and give me another perception check. As Kelbrix rushes from the wagon site, what do the two of you do?
As I see him run off, I'm gonna call out to him, "Where are you going?"
I hear someone, I think they're in the bushes.
I'm gonna grab one of the shrimp and run after Kelbrix.
What was your perception check, Kelbrix?
I was 15, 10 plus 5.
Locking in on the sound, you quickly open your eyes and run east as far as you can, discovering a small path of crushed grass and brush, almost as if something was drugged or crawled. Following this path, you begin noticing blood on various surfaces along the way, as the labored breathing begins to grow closer.
Alright, I'm gonna raise my mace and rush down the path looking for the source of the labored breathing.
Hey, wait up! I'm gonna run after them. We should stay together.
Somebody's dying over here.
Who's dying?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Gorath, you are just able to catch the quickened movement of Kelbrix as he rushes down a path to the east.
I'm gonna follow after him. I'm gonna take a long look back at the crate with the remains of the shrimp.
As Ari actually catches up to you, Gorath, she notices the longing gaze at the crate of shrimp.
Don't worry, we'll go back.
Kelbrix, as you reach the path's end, you enter into a small clearing, as you see a figure lying still, propped up against a tree stump, as you hear both Ari and Gorath run up from behind. And that is where we'll stop our story for today.